Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking mainly about the arrow member selection operator, what it does and when you should use it. But to begin with, as it's been a while since we created a new class, we'll do that. So let's see if we remember. To create a new class, press File, then New Class. Give it a name, like maybe Molly. We haven't yet looked at destructors, so uncheck those. Just be sure you're working in the same directory as the main CPP. Okay then, great. You get 2 confirmations and confirm you want to do both. So you get 2 files, a Molly header file and Molly CPP file. The Molly header file is where all the prototypes will be made, and the coding will all be done in the Molly CPP file. So in the main CPP, copy IOStream and namespace. Then paste the Molly header in the main CPP. So the beginning of main CPP and Molly CPP should look fairly identical. You'll see some text in green like inf-def, define, and endif. Basically, it just means if you don't need a header file, then don't include it. So it says, if not defined, Molly header file, then define it. So when you run it in main CPP, all the classes will have Molly header file. So if you've already included Molly header file once, then don't include it again, because it will already be there. So within the Molly class, we'll start by creating a function. It won't return anything, so type void. Then type class name Molly, then the double colon operator, and then print stuff. Without the double colon operator, it wouldn't know which function print stuff belongs to. But this way, it knows it belongs to the Molly class. So remember, when you're building a function, always write class name, then the double colon, and then the function name. So type C out, Miss Molly had a dolly, then end line. So we have the Molly class, a constructor function which doesn't have any use, and a function called print stuff. After this, prototype it. When prototyping in a class, under public, write void print stuff. And that's what you need to do to prototype it. Molly tells the header file that it belongs to the Molly class, so no need to copy it. When prototyping the class, it already knows we're working with the Molly class. So we have created a class with one function. Now we can talk about the arrow member selection operator. So we'll start by building a Molly object. The Molly object will allow us to access whatever is in the Molly class using Molly object, using the dot and then the variable function or whatever. So when we build and run it, we get Miss Molly had a dolly come on screen. So we need to use the Molly object if we want to access anything from the Molly class. Then we can use it by putting the object first using the dot separator. Then after that, write whatever we want to access within the Molly class. There's also an alternative way of accessing things within the Molly class, and that is by making a pointer to the Molly object. So to make a pointer, you need to specify what type of data you're going to hold. So it can be Molly data, because a class can be a type of data you create yourself. You then give your pointer a name, so we can simply call it Molly pointer, then set it equal to the memory address Molly object. Now it's possible to use this pointer to access the things in the Molly class. So type Molly pointer dot separator and print stuff and build and run it. But then you notice you get an error message. Why is that? Basically, whenever you use a pointer to access anything inside a class, you need to use an arrow member selection operator. And when you run it, it'll work. So one is accessing it with an object and one is accessing it with a pointer. So as I said, there are two alternate ways of accessing things in a class. So once again, to recap, there are two different ways of accessing things in a class. One is to use the pointer and the function or variable name, and the other is to use the object and the function name. Remember, use the dot separator with the object and the arrow with the pointer. So hope you understood that. It'll make more sense as you go further on. Just make sure that at the beginning of all your .cpp files are all the same. So thanks once again, and I'll see you next time.